Y'all ready to make some really good cookies that aren't bad for you? Stay tuned. Let's make some delicious cowboy cookies. So I know this recipe has been called a variety of things. I always called it monster cookies, but I've heard it called everything but the kitchen sink cookies, cowboy cookies, and I want to give a shout out. I have been watching a lot of Off Grid with Doug and Stacy in preparation. Thank you all for all your comments of doing my off-grid day drill. I'm waiting for it to get a little bit cooler, y'all, which is sort of cheating, but you know, you gotta pick your battles. So I was watching one of Stacy's older videos and she made what she called everything but the kitchen sink cookies. So I thought, yeah, hello, need some cookies. So I want to apologize in advance before I get started here because somebody's gonna say something. Y'all, I kind of have a little something going on with my back, which is highly usual for me, so I'm not terribly worried about it. So we're going to start out with mixing up all of our dry ingredients. The first item that we're going to be using is 2 cups of flour. Now I am going to do what Stacy did, and I'm going to use some einkorn flour. Einkorn, I think that's how you say it. Sometimes my southern slips in and I start talking really country, especially when I'm around my mother. So einkorn is one of the most ancient forms of wheat. And for people who have trouble digesting gluten products, this is much easier to digest. So I've got my gigantic bowl. Let me tip y'all down. So my dear friends Peggy and Norm sent me these bowls from her brother's estate, and I have to tell y'all, I have used these. I don't know how I ever got along without them. So there you go, 2 cups of einkorn. Now to that, we're going to add 2 cups of oats. Now I watched Stacy do this a couple times, and I'm just assuming, because I could not tell from the video, that she doesn't throw things on the floor like I do. Wash that. That she used whole oats because they live a very healthy, very natural lifestyle, so I can't imagine that she would be using quick oats. All quick oats are, y'all, if you ever, my word, need oats, like quick oats for a recipe, and I do have a couple that use quick oats. Just put them in your blender or chopper and chop them up a little bit. That's really the only difference in the cooking part of them. Now, I will tell you, steel cut whole oats, much better for you. And they also do a better job of lowering cholesterol. So, except for my no-bake cookies, I only use whole oats. And now that the weather's getting cooler, I'm trying to get into eating oatmeal. Have to tell you, not my favorite, but it's good for me. And if you put enough stuff in it, it's not so bad. I kind of have an overabundance of apple butter. That's a whole nother story. I got a little overambitious, not last year, but the year before, and I have jar after jar after jar of apple butter, and who knew it's really, really good in oatmeal. So don't forget about uses like that, making every bit count. Okay, next thing we need is, and y'all know I can't have everything out. I thought I did, but we need a teaspoon of cinnamon. Where is my cinnamon? Okay, hang on. Cinnamon, where are you? That's cumin. That wouldn't taste very good. Alrighty, here we go. Ceylon cinnamon, which is one of the most flavorful cinnamons. I love, absolutely love cinnamon. It's also very good for you. I've shared before that it can help regulate blood sugar. So I'm putting a pretty generous teaspoon of cinnamon. Ooh, I'll have to remember not to do that. To that, we're going to get our items that will help it rise. So we're going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. These are going to be so good, y'all. And I do have my oven preheating to 350. And we need half a teaspoon of baking powder. And that would be salt. Oh, there's the baking powder. And a half teaspoon of salt. I am so sorry. Dinner bell. I got the missies today too. I enjoyed watching Stacy make these because she is a non-measurer, and I love to watch people cook that have that level of self-assurance where they don't need to measure anything. All right, so we have our flour, our oats, our cinnamon, our baking soda, our baking powder, and our salt. I'm just gonna give this a stir with my Danish whisk. Love this little gadget. Make sure that nothing is clumped up in there. All right, now comes all of the goodness. So we are going to add all kinds of things to make these taste absolutely amazing. So the first thing is we're going to add about half a cup of sunflower seeds. I need to put that on my list because I'm quite low on sunflower seeds. So we'll put that in a different pile. And if you don't like any of these ingredients, you can certainly leave them out. I'm going to use half a cup of pumpkin seeds, and I like to use the raw ones, the ones that haven't been processed and toasted. They taste absolutely delicious. These don't have any salt or anything added to them. Next is nuts, and you can add a couple types of nuts. You can add whichever type you prefer. I am going to use walnuts. Let me see if I can get this open. I got myself a new opener to make it easier, y'all, and I'm struggling. There we go. That was a good seal, wasn't it? Okay. So these are pretty finely chopped. So I am going to add about a cup of chopped walnuts. So you can see already these have some really healthy type ingredients. And then the next thing is some dried cranberries. Now I purchased these from Azure. They are non-GMO. They're not listed as organic, but I'm sure they're fine. And we want a cup of those. Oh, y'all, this is gonna be good. Now, she added coconut. There are very few things I dislike, but I hate coconut, so I'm not going to add that. But I think she added half a cup of unsweetened coconut. I'm just gonna leave it out. Next item is some chocolate chips. Now I'm using milk chocolate, and you want, wow, 2 cups. That's a lot. But this is gonna make a big batch of cookies. And you could use dark chocolate. I'm using milk chocolate because I'm not a huge chocolate fan, but I bet it's gonna be so good with the cranberries. Y'all, I can take a look and see if these are still available. They are not the Lock and Lock brand, but I have loved these canisters and labels. It has changed my organizational life, although sometimes I don't show it on these videos. All right, how good does this look? Oh, it's got more goodies than it does flour, so it looks delicious. Now, I'm gonna need to do some melting here. So in a separate bowl, we're going to start adding our sweetener and our liquids. And you don't need a mixer for this, or she didn't use a mixer, so I thought that was excellent. So we're going to use sucanat. So sucanat is the least processed form of sugar that you can get, and y'all, it smells delicious. It smells like molasses or brown sugar to me, so it's just evaporated cane sugar, not processed. And it's not as sweet as, you know, say cane sugar. And you could use cane sugar. You don't have to use sucanat. So I'm going to use 2 cups of that. And these are half-cup measures, y'all. I'm not using 4 cups. All right. Now I need to do a little bit of melting. So let me tell you. Whew, goodness, y'all, I'm so sorry for making all the ringing noises. So you want a stick of butter, and she used half a cup of coconut oil and melted it all together. Now, I am not a big fan of coconut. I need that. And so, yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to end up using avocado. I don't think it's going to change the cookie. So let me get this melted down. I'll bring you back in just a moment. We'll get the rest of our wet ingredients mixed together. Stay tuned. All right. So this is softened. It's not totally melted, but it's soft enough. It'll stir right in. And instead of the half a cup of coconut oil, I'm going to use the half cup of avocado oil. Get that measured out really quickly. I am a huge fan of the Azure organic avocado oil. So delicious. Avocado oil has a very high melting point, so it's really good for getting a nice sear on different things that you might be cooking. All right, let me give this just a tiny stir. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fine. Oh, I haven't made cookies in a very long time, so this is going to be delicious, just saying. All right, to that, we're gonna add about a teaspoon of vanilla. And I have been using my organic vanilla extract powder as well. I think it adds a nice additional taste to everything. I have plenty of it, so I'm gonna use it while I have it. So we'll just add that in there. And then the last thing for our wet ingredients are 2 eggs. And these are eggs from my ladies. And y'all, as of the filming of this, I don't have any update on Violet. It fell on my finger. And for 1 egg or the baby chicks that I have coming, if that egg doesn't hatch, and I do not have high hopes of that. So let's add our eggs. And then I'm just gonna give this all a really good mix. So if you were doing this in the mixer, you know how a lot of recipes will say cream your butter and sugar together. So this is manual creaming. This is coming together very nicely. Now, one thing you will notice about sucanat is it is much, much coarser than table sugar, so it doesn't dissolve as readily. So to combat that, we're going to add all of this together, and then we're going to let it set and kind of give that sugar an opportunity to melt into the cookie batter. Don't want to miss any of that goodness. Oh yeah. So the big bowl's probably overkill, but I love this bowl. I really do. Wow, are these ever gonna be good? You know, sometimes you need a treat, but if there are ways that you can make your treat a little healthier, I did not say lower in calories, I said healthier. This is a good way to do it. When my son was small, I had a recipe for something called monster cookies, but it involved a lot of processed things like store peanut butter. It had no flour in it at all. M&Ms, I forget what all was in it, but it had a lot of really good things in it. Really tasty things, but maybe not necessarily the healthiest. So I'm just mixing this until all of the dry ingredients are incorporated. This is going to be so good, y'all. Oh, I wish you could smell it. Can definitely smell the sugar, but I can also smell the cranberries. And you could use dried cherries if you don't have dried cranberries. I suppose you could use raisins as well. All right, I'm gonna call that mixed. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cover this with a towel. I'm gonna let it hang out for, oh, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Kind of give that sugar a chance to dissolve. Then we'll come back, we'll dish them up, get them into the oven, and we'll be on our way to the everything but the kitchen sink cookies. Stay tuned. All right, y'all, our oven is preheated, and we are going to make some really nice cookies. Now, I will share that she made these quite large. So I am going to mimic what she did, because who doesn't like a ginormous cookie? Hello. Look at that. Isn't that going to be delicious? I don't want to overload the cookie sheet, although I will say they didn't spread a whole bunch. But I am planning that this will probably be 2 batches. Or 2 sheet trays. It smells even better now that it's set for a little bit. And I am trying to get them basically the same size so that they will cook evenly. And in just a moment, I'm gonna pop these in the oven, and I'm gonna set my timer for 15 minutes. Now, when I watched Stacy make these, she was doing it on a wood cook stove. So what I have to say is I have an electric stove, and I don't know if perhaps hers might cook faster or slower. She checked them at 15, cooked them up to 23 minutes. So I'm going to finish patting these out. Yeah, this is definitely gonna make a lot of cookies. I think this would make a nice breakfast cookie. Who doesn't like cookies for breakfast? I mean, it has eggs, good. Oatmeal, good. Fruit, nuts, you know, all the good things. Wow, this is messy. So let me rinse my hands off here really fast so I can shut off the camera. We'll pop these in the oven. I'll bring you back to let you know how long it took for them to cook, and we'll do a taste test. Stay tuned. So while our cookies are baking, I thought I would pop on here really quick and just share some upcoming things that you can look forward to. So as the weather is changing, I am still pretty loaded with garden produce. I'm still getting a lot of tomatoes, some beans. I have 1 ear of corn, just saying. And I have 1 jack-o'-lantern, and I'm getting ready. I have some herbs, some peppers. I have lots of peppers, loads of peppers, jalapenos, cayenne long reds, as well as sweet peppers. But I am getting ready to plant some things for fall. We'll see how that goes. It has been so extraordinarily dry here. I'm not sure how well it will do, but we might as well give it a shot because I've never done a fall garden before, and there's a few things I want to plant. So that will be coming up. But also, guys, it's almost spooky season. So whether you're a fan of fall or Halloween, either one, I will have some crafting and just some fall decorating, some fall projects. It's some of the things that I really love to do in the fall. I'm loving these cooler days. Today is Tuesday. It's only going to be 76 degrees. I have actually had my central air off. I believe this is the 4th day in a row. And it's a little warm, but it's not terrible. I'm getting used to it. And, you know, I don't want to get too accustomed to always having the temperature be just perfect in preparation for my off-grid drill that I do plan to do. I will also have some more sun oven baking and some things for my mom's birthday that I'll be sharing. So lots of fun to come. I have a sewing project I need to finish up, the curtains for the kitchen. Y'all, I just have not had time, or I've not taken the time. Let's say it that way. So on these lovely, nice afternoons after I work hard all morning, I've been enjoying just reading some of the Foxfire series, doing a little crocheting, you know, starting to settle in for what are going to be some long, cold months ahead. So I hope that all sounds exciting to you. So our cookies are in, the timer is set. Let's let them bake, and I'll bring you back shortly. Our gorgeous, gorgeous cookies are done. The last batch is in the oven. 350, 23 minutes was perfect for me. It's been really hard not to taste them, but let's pick up one of these beauties, show you what it looks like, and let's give it a taste test. Y'all, you have to try these. You can really taste the nuts and seeds. Slightly sweet, but not sickeningly sweet. Perfect, perfect breakfast food. And reasonably healthy for you too. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, would you do me a favor? Would you go ahead and smash that like button? Share my video. It really helps me out greatly. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, do all the things. I will see you all very soon. But in the meantime, be healthy, be well, be blessed. Take care.